Kim, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let's stick to the entertainment news. We leave it right there because I'm more interested in what's coming up next. Because you know what? We've been spending so much time with our federal mogul expert, Bertus. I think it's pretty much safe to say that Graeme knows everything there is to know about the mechanics of a car at this point. It's not even funny. But this morning, we learned a little bit more about drum brakes. What exactly are they? How do they work? Because we need to know these things.
In some vehicles, the braking system in the front may differ from that in the rear. So today we learn about the workings and maintenance of drum brakes.
A very common component, especially amongst rear braking systems, your drum brakes. Now, to explain this system a little bit more in depth, our technical expert from Ferodo, Bertie, welcome back. How was my description there? Pretty spot on?
Very, very close. It works very similar to a disc brake setup. We've got a slave cylinder that's actuated by the hydraulics that pushes out the linings, making contact with the drum assembly itself to slow down the vehicle and ultimately stop the vehicle.
So I'm seeing a lot of regular components here from a normal braking system, but I have noticed that we've found in our explorations drum brakes often on the rear brakes of these smaller vehicles.
Normally it's on entry-level vehicles where cost has definitely got an impact on the sale of the vehicle itself. It's very, very safe to use, and it's commonly used on buckies, trucks, trailers that carries a lot of load because it's a very efficient way of stopping a vehicle.
But equally as important to make sure that these are maintained in the right way.
Maintenance is very important on this system as well. Although the wear rate on drum assemblies and the linings itself is very lower compared to discs that we commonly use on vehicles. Each and every time when you do any servicing on the braking system, referring to the front brakes, you need to look at the rear brakes as well, the drum assemblies, because the adjustment on this braking system is critical for the performance of the braking system on the vehicle and also the lifespan on the newly replaced brake pads in front.
Because the parts of the drum brake system are so different from disc brakes, caring for them seems daunting. But with a bit of know-how, you can look after them yourself.
So I'm seeing a lot of the normal components, your hydraulics, your friction material, but it does look a little bit confusing. Where do we begin when inspecting our drum brake system?
By looking at it, it does look a little bit more complex compared to disc brakes that you're used to, but you can actually do this at home if you don't need to rebond the shoes or replace the drums. The linings itself, you can purchase it from any spare shop, but the big thing is to remember those linings are actually manufactured to the original radiuses of the drum. Remember, we want the full contact of the lining onto the drum, and if that radius is not correct or corresponding to the drum itself, you've only got partial contact, leading to a result where you don't have efficient braking on the drum brake system itself.
So in the same way that we've got to make sure that our discs are getting maximum surface area with our brake pad, maybe getting them skimmed, same applies here.
My biggest tip is if you're not comfortable working on any brake system or any work conducted on a vehicle, rather take it to a specialist.
Yep, but it does help to be educated when you step into that workshop. We know that even if it's an entry-level car, probably your first car, it is your pride and joy. So make sure that it's maintained, not just the exterior and the look, but those vital working components like your drum or rear braking system.
You're in control with Ferodo.